Hi, and welcome to episode 106. So, in this episode, we're going to be giving you 6 tips to finding a niche for your online business.
Now, that's an interesting one, isn't it? Because some people call it niche, not niche. You call it niche, I call it niche. So I think we're going to call it niche today, but if you call it niche, you know what we're talking about. It's just potato, potato, tomato, tomato. Well, it's people say things differently, don't they?
Yeah. There's a pom with a kiwi, so we're often getting
our words mixed up.
Yeah.
Anyway, we've had a busy week. We got married, and we had our honeymoon all in the last week. So it's been a very busy week, which is great. Yeah. We had a really good time, didn't we?
Yeah.
Great wedding, and
it was
awesome honeymoon.
It was very small and very nice. It was just lovely. It's just what we wanted, wasn't it? And we had a beautiful honeymoon in a gorgeous place called Gore Bay, where we got engaged actually.
Yeah,
a year ago. So absolutely beautiful. You get there and it's just, you just instantly go.
Just relax.
And just relax. And there's literally, you've got the beach to yourself.
Yeah.
It's just beautiful.
So look it up if you're elsewhere in the world. Search for Gore Bay, New Zealand. Gore Bay, New Zealand.
Maybe don't send that many tourists there though.
I'm pretty sure it's a safe little place from tourists. Anyway, without further ado, let's get into our six tips for finding a niche in your online business. So what we're going to do for this episode is focus on finding a niche and how to find a niche market. So I guess we should probably have a chat about what a niche actually is. Pretty much it's a defined group or a subset of a broader marketplace. So it pretty much allows you to sell to a really defined audience and focus on that audience. So rather than, and I'm going to use my old example of fishing as a niche, fishing is a very broad niche. Whereas if you were to sell into, say, fishing reels for salmon, that's quite a defined niche. So you're selling quite a specific product. Yeah, quite a specific product to a specific market, because the benefit of that is that means you can focus and target that exact market. You're not trying to focus on thousands of people with thousands of interests in fishing when you're actually only selling a couple of fishing products. So that's what a niche is to really define it down and sell to that specific portion of the market. So how do you do that? Okay, so we've got 6 tips to do that. The first one is to brainstorm some of your interests and ideas. So, you must have, some hobbies or interests, things that you're passionate about. I mean, that's a really good way to start to find a product.
Just to jump in there, what's the advantage of only having a specific thing you sell rather than, like your fishing thing, selling everything to do with fishing?
Well, when you're starting out, it's hard, say, for example, you got a physical product. It's hard to go and stock your online store with thousands of products that cover all of what fishing is, because there are literally thousands.
Because it's interesting, because I think automatically you'd think the more you're doing, the better. The more range you give in, the better and more likely you are to sell.
Yeah.
Sell stuff.
Yeah, I think that's
automatically, but maybe that's not.
It's more to the point of the when you're selling something really specific, you can just focus on that, and focusing on that really well is a lot better than trying to do 100 products and do them average.
It's like being a master. What's the saying? But like a jack of all trades.
Yeah.
Master of one and
something like that. I don't know. Anyway, we'll work on that for next time. Okay, so the second tip is you need to work out your offering. What are you going to be selling? So is it a physical product? Is it going to be a digital product that people download? Is it going to be content? So you need to work out with your list of ideas that you've brainstormed, how's that going to manifest itself into something that you can then sell to people? And obviously, depending on what your passions are, will somewhat dictate what the offering is going to be. Okay, so once you've worked that out, then you need to go and do some research. Now, one of the best ways to do this that I've found is tip number 3 is to go and Google search the area that you're going to look in, the niche you're looking in, and the product that you're looking for. And look at the first page of Google. And what I would suggest you do is go to a website called Ubersuggest and get their Chrome extension. Now, what that'll do, that allows you to have a look at each of those websites that you've Googled on the first page of Google for your fishing reel, for example. Open up all of those 10 pages, those 10 websites that are on that first page of Google, and use the Ubersuggest plugin, and it will show you how authoritative the DA score is, so the domain authority. And this will make more sense once you start using the Chrome extension for Ubersuggest. But look at the domain authority, and what you want to do is you want to find a domain authority which these sites all have low authorities. So low authorities are 20 or 30. Like high authority sites, obviously Google being the biggest site in the world, it has a domain authority of like 99 or something. But lower authority sites that are ranking in the top first page of Google for your product, if you can find those, then you're onto something, because what that means is it's going to be easier for your site to rank on the first page of Google. And obviously, when you're ranking on the first page of Google, you're going to get traffic, you're going to sell products. So that's pretty much a really key tip to how you can actually find, a nice little niche market and find one that you are able to actually rank on Google with. Okay, if that's too technical, we do have our contact details on our website. You can flick me an email and I will explain that to you in an email and give you some links to it. So both Emily and I are more than happy to answer emails and things. So on our website, on our contact page, we have our email addresses. Send us an email, no problem.
Any technical stuff or...
I take the technical stuff, yeah. So that point number 3 for Ubersuggest, I'm the one to approach on that one.
Yeah, if you want any healthy living, mindful tips or anything like that, then come to me.
Okay, so tip number 4, you need to find a place to sell. So that's the platform where you're going to sell this. So, is that going to be e-commerce on your own website? Is it going to be somewhere like Etsy or Amazon or eBay, or a new one that I found the other day, which is called Gumroad? If you're into digital products like ebooks or downloads.
Is that American based?
Yeah, I think it is. Yeah, Gumroad. Check it out. It's worthwhile. It's sort of a new one, but there's heaps of people going to it now. So, and I think the key thing with this number 4 tip is when you're finding a place to sell is, you want to, if you're starting out, you want to find a place that's easy for you to launch. And that's why Amazon and Etsy and eBay are all good places to go to if you're new. The reason for that is because the 3 things you could do online to be successful is have a good product, have a platform to sell it on, and have traffic to your product. Okay, so if you've got all 3 of those things, you're likely to be successful. The benefit of Etsy and Amazon is that they're existing platforms, so they have traffic, they have a platform. So of those 3
You'll
things,
pay for that, though.
You pay for it. Yes, you pay for it, but you don't have to set it up. So rather than setting up your own e-commerce store where you have to set up your own platform, you have to go and find your own traffic, and you have to do your product. If you go onto Amazon or Etsy, you're basically good to go. You've got the platform, you've got the traffic, you just need to sort the product side of it. So you're dealing with only one of those 3 things. So make it easier on yourself. And that's why a lot of people do start on Amazon or Etsy or eBay, or even Walmart, because they're all there set up, ready to go. Okay, so tip number 5, find a country to sell in. And I know that might sound weird, but you can actually niche down geographically. So, for example, a lot of people sell just into the USA, and they don't look at other countries. There's heaps of other countries where the competition is lower, and you can actually sell a lot more product to, even though there's not as much population, there's not as much competition. So, for example, Germany, yes, there's a language barrier, but with the translation functions online these days, it's not such a problem to go and set up a site that sells to people in Germany. And you might find in your particular niche, there's less of a competition. And particularly with digital products, we're not having to ship it to that country. So think outside the square, find a country to sell in. Okay, and then the last one, tip number 6, is can you find a gap in the market? So look for where profitable products are already being sold. And this is where the, platforms like Etsy and Amazon give you a lot of data. So you can go on Etsy and you can see how much product a certain seller has sold. So if they're selling thousands of whatever they're selling, and you've got a product that is similar, but you can make it better, why wouldn't you go on Etsy and pretty much copy their business model with your better product? Because their poor product's selling well, so why wouldn't your better product not sell better? So think about finding that gap. So you can look at reviewing the numbers of what they're selling. You can look at if it's e-commerce, you can look at your competition and the traffic to their website. You can find all that. Ubersuggest will tell you that Chrome extension I talked about before, and I'll put the link to that in the show notes. That'll give you all that information. And the other one you can do is go on flipper.com, which is a site that sells websites, and have a look through their listings. If there's sites there that are successful and are being sold for a lot of money, there's a reason why they're being sold for a lot of money, because they work well. So if they're in your niche, and you just go in there and find some information about them.
Yeah,
it's all about research. So that's our 6 tips today. I think the thing is, by doing these tips, you can define your offering, your customers, your marketplace, and your country. And they're the key things to do. It sets you up well in the beginning of your online business. The key thing is to do the research now. Make sure you do the research. Don't skip over it, because there's a lot of work to do after you've chosen your product and setting up everything, and you don't want to end up 3 or 4 months.
Well, if you spend all that time setting it up, getting it onto a platform, trying to sell it, it's not working. It's not
because you didn't do your research.
Because you didn't do the research, and then it's just a waste of time.
I mean, the research is probably a week. It's probably a week's worth of work to find a product in a niche that you can sell into, versus probably 3 or 4 months after that to set all of that stuff up. So you don't want to skimp on that 1 week's worth of research. The other thing is, don't be afraid to swap niches. So if you find a niche and you think, oh, this is great, and then you go through these steps and you find that there's some problems with these steps and it's actually going to be really hard to sell into, don't be afraid to flip to another niche, because
it's better than trying to push it if you find it's not working and you think, oh, I'm just going to stick with it. Stick with it.
Absolutely.
Just cut your losses at that point, and just you might have wasted a bit of time, but you've not wasted
huge amount of time and money. So so there are our tips today to finding a niche in your for your online business. One thing we do want to talk about quickly is our new service which we're offering. We've been doing a wee bit of one-on-one coaching.
It's going really, really well, actually. It's
so
fantastic.
we've had some really good successful clients who have really built their online businesses through getting some help. So if you want to do have some one-on-one sessions with me, we are opening this up at the moment for a limited time, because I've only obviously got a limited amount of hours in the day that I can give people some help. We've got a page on our website which goes through all the details. We'll put the links to that in our show notes. Have a look. If you need some help in your business, if you're struggling, if you've had a bit of a roadblock and you need someone to talk it through and work your way around it, jump on our link, schedule a free call with me, and we can go through and see where we can help you out. But that's all we've got for episode 106. If you like this video, give us a thumbs up. If you're in YouTube, make a comment. Remember to like it. And we look forward to seeing you in episode 107.
Yay.
Cheers, guys. Bye.